Hello guys and gals, I'm Nick and welcome to Furthy's Feedback. So, it's time for me to enter the discussion and give my thoughts on the new Prey film. That being said, strap in folks. Even the most ardent Predator fan might argue that the franchise should have been laid to rest after the Predator underwhelmed after showing initial promise. If that had happened though, we wouldn't have got Prey. I'd say it was the best Predator movie since the original, but that feels like damning it with faint praise. It's a terrific movie in its own right that revitalizes the franchise by stripping it back to basics. There will always be a tinge of disappointment that it's not getting a chance on the big screen like it deserves, especially with the stunning natural locations. That doesn't make Prey any less of an event movie, and one that even non-Predator fans will want to talk about. Set in 1719, Prey takes place in the Comanche Nation and centers on Naru, a highly skilled warrior. She dreams of being a hunter like her brother Tabei, but as she's a woman, it's not seen as her role within the structure of her tribe. Luckily, Naru soon gets a chance to prove she can be a hunter, as an unknown prey appears to be threatening her camp. Little does she know that the prey she's stalking is actually looking for a hunter to match its own skill, leading to a vicious showdown between the two. Director Dan Trachtenberg has been open about following the structure of the original movie, so if it sounds familiar, that's kind of the point. It's also exactly why Prey works so well, as it evokes the simple hunter versus the hunted narrative of the Arnie classic, and doesn't throw in a needless twist, multiple predators for instance, to go bigger. The freshness comes from the setting, as this Predator isn't as technologically advanced as we've come to expect. It still is ferocious, but just feels different, and the weapons it's facing are different too. Like Dutch in the first movie, Naru has to rely on her wit more than anything to survive, rather than having a bigger gun, and it's more thrilling to watch as well. Prey is also careful to pace itself, holding back the reveal of the Predator for longer than you'd expect. We know it's coming, of course, but Trachtenberg makes sure to spend time embedding us in the Comanche culture, teasing the threat to come. If there's one complaint I've seen, it's that the Comanche dub of the movie isn't the only version released. So much effort was made elsewhere to ensure its authenticity, including a cast comprised almost entirely of Native and First Nations talent, that the fact that they're speaking mostly in English does annoy people slightly. But for me, that's being hypercritical. Even that doesn't lessen the visceral thrills though once Prey stops with the teasing and goes on the hunt. Backed by a rich and propulsive score by Sarah Schachner, the set pieces build intensity towards a terrific final showdown. The care taken with them ensures they are varied and that each has at least one crowd-pleasing moment. There's definitely one moment that could prove a bit too on the nose, but it's clear that Prey has been made by people who love Predator. It shows through on the understanding of just what made the first movie work and, as a result, means that the movie is so effective in what it sets out to achieve. Of course, the first Predator movie also had a memorable Arnold Schwarzenegger performance in the lead role. Prey's Dutch equivalent is Amber Midthunder's Naru, and it should be a star-making turn for the Roswell, New Mexico star. It's an incredibly physical role that demands a lot, and Midthunder matches it, whether brawling with the Predator or crawling through a mud pit. Don't expect the one-liners that Arnie gave, but it's an engaging performance that has you on Naru's side throughout, where other Predator movies might have had you cheering for the hunter. The other thing that delivered a lot of fan service for me personally was the fact that we had a few callbacks to the original film, and I'm sure there was subtle use of some of the score used in the original Predator, but I do need to go back and have another watch of the film to check. This is fresh off the first watch, so I've not had too much time to process all of it yet. These are just my initial thoughts, so I may revisit Prey again in another video. So, Whilst we'd hope this doesn't prove to be the only outing in the 18th century for the Predator franchise, but if Prey is a one and done, then it's even better than Predator fans could have ever dreamed of.